6, good enough for finals MVP honors, and many, many sleepless treks around the greater Milwaukee area. Nick, we've checked in a number of times this year on your NBA player pyramid, your hierarchy.
Oh, we have.
Of how the best players in the game rank today. Yes, we have. We're going to do it one final time. You took one last shot at it after the playoffs. Why don't you do this? Take us through the end-of-season edition of your now famous NBA player pyramid.
Oh, famous. Well, it will be the end of season. It will also be the 2021-2022 preseason edition. There will be no major changes. But before I do it, my partner and co-host Brandon Marshall asked me to alert the audience because he would like to be here today. He had travel plans that could not be changed months ago. And he might be on the show because he's here in New York City where I am, because months ago he bought tickets to the Nets championship parade that he thought was going to be happening today. Unfortunately, now he's just going to get to see the great sights of New York City. He will be back tomorrow. But in the meantime, we have the great Chris Broussard here with us to go through the player pyramid. I know what you're thinking. How many people are on the pyramid? Is it a top 20? Is it a top 30? Is it a top 50? It is a top 47. Reveal the bottom 2 rows, please. These are all top 50 players. You might be like, who the hell is on that? You need to squint a little bit. That's C.J. McCollum. Yeah. Next to C.J. McCollum's Rudy Gobert. Rudy, lucky you made the pyramid, buddy, after that playoff performance. On the far right-hand side, dear God, that's Derrick Rose's music. Next level up, Karl Anthony Towns. Why isn't Towns higher? Hey, here's a crazy idea. Don't consistently be one of the 4 worst teams in the league if you have a great player. I like that idea. Draymond Green there. The only rookie on the pyramid, LaMelo Ball. De'Aaron Fox, Bam Adebayo. Bam was higher. He dropped a bit. So those are the bottom 2 rows. I hear Kevin Wilde's grumbling. I'm not sure why he's grumbling. We have a lot to get through, but Wilde, what's the problem?
I have one tiny interjection, and I don't mean tiny because the heads are literally this small on your television screen. I mean this. Last year's pyramid, Rudy Gobert. You're making me into a Rudy Gobert fan. Yeah. Rudy Gobert was on the 6th tier. Spoiler alert, now he is on the 10th tier. Why did he get demoted? Is it because he was Defensive Player of the Year? Is it because the Jazz had the best regular season record in the league? Is it because he led the league in field goal percentage and rebounds and blocks? Or is it because you made a heel turn against the analytics community when people were saying that Rudy Gobert is actually the MVP? Because he should not have been demoted for his performance. Quinn Snyder played him wrong against the Clippers, and he got exposed. Well, you got exposed because you're put in a bad spot. I don't think Rudy Gobert deserves to be on the bottom tier of this. Go.
Hold on. You just real quick. You said Quinn Snyder played him wrong. How should he have played him? By played him wrong, you mean played him at all? What okay, there you go. Wilde's adjustment was what Quinn Snyder should have done is bench the guy. You know who should be at the top of the pyramid? Our production staff for finding Rudy Gobert playoff highlights. Well done. I'm sticking with it. All right, reveal the next few tiers. Now it's some players you actually care about, or more players you actually care about. All right, Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton. 3rd best guys on the finalists. They're there. Julius Randle after a rough playoffs. He drops a bit, but hey, it's a hell of a lot higher up than he was before. Now, I know what some people are saying. Nick, you're not killing Ben Simmons for his playoff performance the way you did Rudy Gobert. I'm not, because I think Ben Simmons was more of an aberration. I think Ben Simmons can be an excellent playoff performer. And then there's Chris Broussard, I think is 9th best player in the league. Jaylen Brown right there in the middle tier. All right, this next group of guys, Chris, Kyrie, Beal, Jimmy, Clay, and Paul George. All of them have this in common. If they are your 2nd best player, I think you can win the title. You certainly can go to the finals. We, by the way, have seen 3 of those guys win the title as the 2nd best player. If they're your best player, you're in trouble. Trouble's too strong. You have a ceiling. You're not in trouble, you have a ceiling. Now, this next group is guys 13 through 17. One of these guys, maybe 2 of these guys, is going to take a leap. They are all 24 years or younger. It is Booker, it is Trey, it is Donovan, it is Tatum, it is Zion. I have a feeling there was controversy around one of those guys. Now let's reveal the cream of the crop if we can. with an asterisk. These two guys, Kawhi and AD, they're 11th and 12th with top 5 ability. But major health concerns surrounding both of them prevents me from putting them in the top 10. They both have an injury history. They both ended this season injured. So they are on the superstar level. Everyone else you're going to see from them on up are superstars, but they have to be beneath the guys above them. Jokic, Dame, Harden, and CP3. Great players with an obvious weakness. Jokic and Dame, it's defensively. Harden, it's the drop-off from regular season to playoffs. And Chris Paul, it's the inability to finish a season at 100%. Now your top 6 guys in the league. It's unbelievable. One of these guys is not a top 5 player. I think we can show it. There we go. Luka, Steph, Embiid. It hurt my heart, Luka, to not have you higher, but fair is fair. Why is Embiid ahead of Jokic? Because I believe he does almost as much for you on the offensive end and far more than for you on the defensive end. And then your top 3, of course, LeBron and Durant vying to try to take the crown from Giannis. Right now, the undisputed title holder of the league. So there it is, Broussard. It's a perfect 47-person list. Apologies to Christian Wood and Vucevic and a few others who just missed out. But there it is. Chris, I spent a long time explaining that. The reason I felt comfortable doing this is because I imagine all you're going to say is, bravo. Bravo. Your thoughts, please.
Not quite. I will say this, Nick. I'm proud of you. After a year of tutorials from me almost daily on this show, you have learned some lessons. I will give you that, and so I'll give you props. And I'm going to back you up because I know a lot of current and former players are looking at you like you have horns growing out of your head right now because you had Giannis at the top.
Wow.
But I'm with you. He deserves to be at the top right now. He's learning how to play to his strengths and hide his weaknesses more. And let me say this about Kevin Durant, because that's the guy that most people think would be above Giannis. First of all, this is not a pyramid of who would win the skills challenge at All-Star Weekend.
Exactly right.
This is not a pyramid of who would win a game of horse. This is about impact on the basketball court. And right now, you can't put KD ahead of Giannis as far as impact. And here's a little note about KD. Now, I know it's a small sample size because he's always had great teammates. But he has never gotten past the second round, never made a conference final without a Hall of Fame superstar teammate by his side. When Russell Westbrook was hurt in Oklahoma, they didn't get past the second round, right? Without an MVP. And you saw this year, didn't get past the second round. So I got to give it to Giannis. I'm there with you on that. As far as some mistakes you made, and I hate to do this because I love this guy, all right? But I've got to switch James Harden and Steph Curry. I'll get to Chris Paul. You got him way too high. But I've got to switch Harden and Curry during the regular season, Nick. And I think you may have shared this sentiment if you would let yourself get over the way he left Houston. And there were times when I thought James Harden had an argument for best player in the league. He was nothing short of spectacular in the regular season. I'm with you on the playoffs. I didn't like the way he ran. I didn't like the way he took on the persona of a joke.